to the Ernest Faison Show. Thank you so much for being here. I have Miss Rhonda Ellman on, my Faison.
Hi, Ernest.
Thank you so much for being on. We talked about it at the gym, and here we are. It's become reality.
Thank you for having me.
He is good. We talk about something which is very, very near and dear to your heart.
It is.
And that is something, ladies and gentlemen, you need to hear me. This is about addiction. And Rhonda has a testimony that I hope all of the people under the sound of my voice will change some people's lives. So would you start out by telling us where you're from?
Well, I'm Rhonda, and
okay.
Born in Miami.
Yeah.
And I come from a long line of active addicts, past and present. And, you know, I found my way into the 12-step rooms because of addiction. And I believe it's been inherited down to me. My father was an addict. He was
So
an
you feel like through heredity, let me stop you right there,
Yeah.
that you got that gene or it's in your DNA as to you becoming an addict? Is that what I'm hearing?
I traced it back to my great-grandfather.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there was dysfunction, and that's got to be 100-something years ago. And there was dysfunction and divorce then. There was moonshine. There was numbers being ran, and it goes way back.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yes.
How are we able to get that back to 3 or 4 generations?
Just family tree, talking to relatives. My grandma was one of 18.
You didn't go Ancestry.com or anything?
No,
like that?
talking to the real source.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. So you come from Miami, you moved here. What brought you to Rhode Island?
Addiction.
Addiction.
Yeah, geographical cure, you know, trying to change
Yeah, you said
states.
that to me. What is geographical
God,
cures?
sort of like changing staterooms on the Titanic, right? You're just going to go down. And I was changing states, trying to fix the problem. But the problem was, it was me.
Okay.
I was bringing the problem to every state that I moved to.
Now, what was your drug of choice?
More.
More?
Whatever you had. Whatever you had, I wanted.
Whatever?
Whatever.
Alcohol?
Alcohol,
Coke?
drugs, Thorazine, coke, acid, mushrooms,
Wow.
heroin, crack,
Is that right?
freebasing, snorting.
Man. And how long did you do these things?
Started when I was 14. I got clean the first time when I was 17. My mother got clean first. She got clean probably when I was 12. And my brother got clean when I was 14. He was 9 years older than me. So they got clean, and I just started using. And by the time I was 17, I was wide open. Being that my mother and my brother were clean, they saw that I had a problem, and they reined me in. And I did stay clean for 1.5 years, and we did a geographical cure again. And we moved back to Florida from Ohio, and
So
I
you were
clean.
a bartender, you told me.
I was a bartender. I was an actress. I was in the party scene. It was just my story, and I thought I was going to use
And
with
that's
my
your
best
story,
friend.
and you're sticking to it.
Yes, I thought I was
right.
born and made to use.
Okay, this is my story. You are watching PEG, R-I-T-V, the Ernest Faison Show. I'm joined by Miss Rhonda Ellman. She's speaking about addiction. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope under the sound of my voice that some of the things that's being disseminated here today, we joke, but we're very serious about it. And
Yes.
Rhonda is living testimony. She's done everything up under the sun, and she's made it right, and she's here to let people know that where there's a will, there's a way. And she's increased her spiritual life too, which is huge right
Yes.
there. So from there, me and you started talking about in the green room about the 12-step program. How did you get into that, and
Well,
how is that working?
Yeah, the first time I got clean, I was 17, like I said, and they said to get a higher power. So it was 1983, Van Halen was at the top of the charts, and David Lee Roth was my love of my life.
You're telling me the story now, right?
David Lee Roth was my higher
Okay.
power. So there I was up on a hill doing a 12-step, you know, doing the 12 steps of this recovery program and using David Lee Roth as my higher power. And fast forward, I moved from Ohio down to Florida, and within 3 months, I was at a meeting, and somebody came up to me. It was Eddie Van Halen's cousin, and they said, "Do you want to hang out with David Lee Roth and the band?" And there I was, clean with my Perrier, backstage taking a picture, which nobody took pictures or had cameras or had phones. And there it was in print, my higher power working in my life. And it was magic. And I knew then at 17 that there was something magical about the rooms and about recovery. I saw it manifest in my mom's life. She became a lawyer. She was 40 years old when she got clean, and she went to law school.
So I like Van Halen.
Van Halen.
You know, it's a shame. God rest Eddie Van Halen. So to me, I think one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Let me throw that in. But I wonder, what song was it? Was it Jump? What song?
That was the tour.
Was
Absolutely.
It?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah,
I was
1983.
joking. Did I really?
Oh yeah,
really?
that was
Wow.
their #1 album. Yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah, the biggest
that's
tour.
amazing.
It was amazing. It was
So
amazing
from there,
times.
I mean, did you an awakening? What what happened there?
Well, yes, an epiphany, you're right? You know, I
Epiphany.
mean, it
There
was
you
just
go.
is what we call in recovery a God story. You can't make that up.
No, you can't.
Right? I mean, that was handed to me. That was a gift from my higher power saying you're onto something. And with that, I stayed clean and life got good. And with the next 35 years, my story was life would get good. I would be in recovery. But then I'd stop going to these meetings that saved my life, that made my life so good. I'd stop going. And then I would have a reoccurrence and I would relapse. And then everything would just go back into, it was like a cycle of just insanity.
Yeah.
And I did that for
vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle.
Why do they always talk about the 12-step program? Why the 12-step program? What are the tools in there that would make it applicable to any type of addiction? Because we're not just talking about acid, mushrooms, or whatever. We're talking about gambling. We're talking about watching too much football. We're talking about sexual addiction.
Yeah.
So what is it within those 12 steps that makes it where everybody universally can follow these things?
Well,
I always want to ask somebody
we
that,
talked
too.
about the geographical cure. So the problem was me. So the problem is me. And the 12 steps are based from the Bible. So the first one talks about you're powerless over your addiction. It doesn't talk about the drug.
Okay.
It talks about the addiction. And on my addiction, once I got clean, finally got clean and surrendered, then I was shopping too much. And I had credit card debt. And then I gained 40 pounds in eating, right? I became addicted to food. It's just switching diseases and addictions. So the steps help you do writing on that, and then you're aware of where your pattern is. And then you ask God to come in and help you change those patterns. And you share those patterns with another person. So the lie is dead. You speak of it out loud. And then you ask God to remove those. And then you clean up your life, and you make amends to people that you wronged. And then you meditate. And then the last one is where you go and you help somebody else. You teach them what was taught, that what you learned yourself.
Well, you're teaching me because I never knew what the 12-step programs were.
Yeah.
And now I'm learning because I know that is applicable to a lot of different things. And I've heard
of things.
so many different people speak about these things.
Yes.
And I mean, you got a testimony. That's why I say people under the sound of my voice, I hope that, how can you not get something from what this woman speaks?
Yeah.
You speak with passion, you speak with conviction, and I can just see it on your face. It's all over you.
Yeah.
You wear it well, Rhonda.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah, God is good.
God is good.
All the
All
time.
day.
So I told you that I also speak about, we spoke about what makes, you stay cool though, you know what I mean? Keep you in the will and keep you grounded.
Well, I have to go to meetings regularly. I have to give back what was given to me so freely. I take calls. Last night I was on the call for an hour at midnight, from 11 to midnight, with a newcomer, teaching her what was taught to me, showing her that there's a better way to live. There's a better way to live. You don't have to be wrapped up in the disease of addiction any longer. The lie is dead. Life is better clean by far. My worst day clean is my best day ever.
Well, I've heard somebody say, an alcoholic, he say, how does he say? One drink is too many, 1,000, one is too many and 1,000 not enough, or something
Yes.
like that? Or did I
Yes.
say it the wrong way?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no happy medium is where I was trying to go with
Right.
that. Right. It's all or nothing.
Right. My worst day clean is better than my best day using.
That's right.
It's just
now,
better.
do you constantly think about these things, the party
Using?
scene?
I did in the
'Cause-
beginning, and that's why I had a lot of reoccurrences in that 35 years. I had a hard time surrendering to that. And so finally, when I was at the end of my ropes and life was really getting dysfunctional, and I had this child now that I had to look after, and I had moved from Miami to Rhode Island. I had no family, no connection here.
Would that be your child right
That
there?
would be my child. And through the grace of God, this child will be 21 years old and never did a drink or a drug.
Right.
Because of the 12-step program. She knows that it's a better life and that it's a family disease and that she probably has it because she likes to manifest shopping things, right?
Spending mom and daddy's money.
Right. And so like we talked about the addiction
That's
being.
a good addiction,
yeah,
she would say.
It's shopping.
She over there grinning like a Chessy cat.
Shopping, right? She has it. I tell her all the time. It started when she was little with Webkins. She
Okay.
had to have 500 of them. And then it went to Uggs. And she had to have every
A
pair
chip
and every
off the
color.
old block, huh?
Yeah, and then it went to American Girl dolls. And when it went to that,
those
she was
are
about,
worth a lot of money.
Yeah, and when it went to that, I said, you better never use
Right.
because
I hear-
you have it.
I heard that. Okay.
And she listened.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching PEG, R-I-TV, the Ernest Faison Show. I'm excited to do this show because we're doing a show of substance. Not that we always don't. that we do, because we got Rhonda Ellman, and she is really speaking about her story. She's speaking with passion. She's speaking with conviction. She's speaking about where she was, where she is now, and now we're going to find out about where you're going.
Well, so we talked about how
Look in that camera.
So we talked about how I ended up here. My mom got clean. My brother got clean. My mom died last year of COVID. She had 40 years clean. She was in a nursing home, clean, but died of COVID. My brother, we just went to Myrtle Beach. He just celebrated 40 years. This is long-term recovery, and this is what brought me to the rims, and this has changed my life. This is just a better way to live. Anybody can have it. It's free. I didn't know how I was going to stay clean because I had those 35 years of reoccurrences, but I knew that I had to do something different this time, and I had asked my higher power, no longer David Lee Roth anymore, but I had asked my higher power to please remove the desire to use, because I always had that desire to use. Every time I got clean, it was still in the back of my mind that I was going to smoke weed, at least at the rocking chair.
Let me stop you right there. So at your worst, at your lowest point, Rhonda, did you contemplate suicide?
Never suicide. No, I mean, I wouldn't say I wanted to take my own life, but I was certainly okay with God taking my own life. You know?
Were you ever homeless?
Mom would come in and save the day right at the last minute. There were a lot of consequences. She let me get that close to it. I would run to the rooms of recovery every time my life took that turn. When my life took that bad turn and things went bad, I was getting robbed or about to lose my house or in a crack house, places that I said I'd never go. Those Jets, I knew where I could get help because they were still clean, my mother and my brother. So I'd run back to the rooms of recovery and surrender. Sometimes it just didn't last more than 2 years. But this time, I said, what am I going to do? And I asked God to remove the desire to use. And it worked this time. I'm coming up on 10 years. That's a
10
decade.
years. Give you a pound like that.
Yeah.
That is outstanding.
Yes.
And, you know, you look like you're in it to win it.
I'm in it one day at a time to win it.
That's right. One day at a time.
Yeah.
1 second at a time.
Nothing's promised, right.
That's right. It's true. People talking about, well, you know, tomorrow. I say, well, hold on. Don't put the cart before the horse.
That's right.
Because
One
if
day
you
at a
study
time.
long, you study wrong. And if you snooze, you lose. And if you're slow, Rhonda, you blow. And you ain't trying to do none of that.
No more blowers. No more blow.
Yeah. Pardon my pun there, like that. But no, you just really just seem like you just in it like, this is what I'm doing. Ain't nothing going to deter me. And I'm going to run this race. And it's not how fast, but I'm going to put on my marathon shoes and I'm going to run this all the way to the finish.
Yeah. I love recovery because I'm helping so many people. You know,
Where are we with that? Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Good. During the pandemic, the recovery houses where we were all meeting in churches, the pandemic, they shut us down. They closed the doors. They locked us out. There were no meetings to be had. And not 2 days after my mom died from COVID, I got a call. My mom had a recovery clubhouse down in Miami that she ran. And 2 days after she died, and we were in the middle of a pandemic, and there were no meetings anywhere, I got a call from somebody in Massachusetts that had a warehouse and said, come open a meeting up there. So I drive every Friday for the last year and a half to Massachusetts. I started a meeting up there, and we had 80 people deep because there were no meetings.
So you were like a guest speaker there or whatever?
No.
Or you run the program?
No, nobody runs it. Nobody runs it. It's a 12-step program for addicts, ran by addicts. Nobody's in charge. But I opened the doors, and I ordered the kits, and I was there with the key, and I made the coffee. And so we were there, and it started with 5 to 7 to 80 people in the middle of it all. And we masked up, and people listened, and we had no outbreaks of COVID, and we saved lives. And now those people that came last year are celebrating a year and a half. It's amazing, and that's what I do. I give back. I help the newcomer. I'm there to open the door. I'm there to make the coffee. I'm there to give them a ride. I'm there to take those calls.
Okay, that's a good thing. So let me ask you, so sometimes I've heard people say they go from one addiction to another addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Rhonda, you need to come clean with me. What's your addiction now?
Still food.
Okay.
Still food.
Keeping it real.
I'm doing much better.
I'm not trying to put you out there. Because me and you can talk.
Yeah. Well, you see me at the gym.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I know my buddy here from the gym and everything like that. So we already got a relationship. So she knows I'm not trying to put her out there like that.
Bust me up.
But she can handle it either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've gone from that to what?
Food. Shopping. I know the shopping. I've done the step work on that now multiple times. But the food, see, you cannot spend and not shop. You get that, but you have to dibble and dabble in food, right? You have to eat that to survive.
That's right.
Drugs, we just don't do anymore. So you stop. But I have to dibble and dabble in food, and that addiction is powerful.
Yeah.
And I have to be mindful of that.
Yeah,
And I have to get to the gym. I have to wrap myself out.
You got to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Yeah, because you so bad, you make medicine sick. Yeah, but you seem like you're into it. I can see that you're focused in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there.
Right.
And you seem like at this point in your life, you're doing it because this is what you need to do, what you have to do. You know, unfortunately,
right. It's life-changing.
What's the word? How do I want to say it? You've limited your options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, health is everything.
Right.
I got clean to be healthier, and food is an addiction, and I have to rein that in. So I know I was posting every time I was going to the gym. I don't do that anymore because on Facebook, because I was feeling like my audio and my visual wasn't matching up. I'm posting that at the gym, and I would go a couple times, but then it might be 2 months before I'd go back. So now you see me all the time, and I'm not posting.
Your mouth is writing something that you know what can't cash.
Exactly.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Right.
You are watching PEG RITV. I'm talking to my buddy, Miss Rhonda Ellman. She's talking all things addiction. She has been to the deep water.
Yeah.
And she got a life preserver taken away from her.
Yes.
But by the grace of God, he said, no, I got more for you to do.
Yes.
And now she's helping people.
Yes.
She's focused. She's going to the gym. She's starting programs. She's just all in it. She's got her A game now. And that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as you go forward with this, what are the challenges now that you see? Because at one time it was using, now it's what? What are the challenges for you now?
Just being a better human.
Maintaining or?
Being a better human. Being better in all areas of my life.
Yeah, because you have a beautiful daughter over there, you know what I mean? She looks at you, she looks up to you and everything like that. I know you want to set a good example.
That's all I could hear was Dr. Phil throughout these last 21 years saying I'm the primary care person for that daughter because we're the same sex. So every character defect that I have, she has, is because of me. So I have to rein that in.
That is so deep. That is so deep, man.
It
and
started
you blew
when
me away when you told me about your grandfather?
Great-grandfather, yes.
Man, that you got that gene.
My mom broke that cycle. She killed that when she got clean.
That's amazing. I mean, I've never heard of that like that.
Yeah.
Not 3 or 4 generations. I've heard like a person 1 generation back.
Yeah.
But you can go like back 3 or 4 generations, and that gene can be so prevalent that it can actually take hold of one.
Yes,
like
and my
that.
dad's still a functioning alcoholic. He retired as a foreman of the steel sheet metal union, and you know, he's a functioning alcoholic. But that's not my story. I always ended up back in recovery.
And those are the dangerous ones, aren't they?
Yes.
You can drink a 14 pack of beer or a 16 pack of beer every day.
Yes.
But you can still recite whatever.
Yeah.
You know, how many yards O.J. Simpson got
Wasn't
in
my story.
1975. It's amazing, really, though. And those are the ones really you got to watch out for, isn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, because
I'm grateful. Can I say that? I'm
you
grateful.
can say whatever you want to say.
I'm grateful recovering addict.
You know why you can say what you want to say, Rhonda?
Because I know you.
We got editing.
Yeah, I'm grateful. And you know, I don't have to live that. I have a spiritual.
This is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I have a spiritual power guiding my life. If I've done a 3rd step, that's one of the steps. If I've done a 3rd step, God, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, turn my will over to Him. If I've done that 3rd step, my life is not my business. I know that God is in control of everything. When I got here 10 years ago, it was a mess. We owed probably $15,000 on our mortgage. We owed $2,000 to every electric company.
Yeah.
And I just got clean and took over everything, and my life is amazing.
Well, Rhonda, not to put you out there, but I'm looking at your neck and your wrist. I don't think you owe anything right now.
No, credit card debt. See, I don't have that any longer. I worked on that.
You don't like gold, do you, Rhonda?
Nah.
I didn't see.
Nah.
You're watching PEG RITV. I'm talking to my buddy, Miss Rhonda Ellman. She is really, really motivating me. And anybody out there who thinks that they can't do it, she's saying you can do it. And you can go from one thing to another. The 12-step program. She talked about the David Lee Roth thing. That is amazing. Yeah. Do you still listen to them, by the way?
Oh, I cried when Eddie passed. It was very heartbreaking.
I know. I'm a Jimi Hendrix fan, but I put Eddie right up there, too, as well.
A lot of people died from addiction in the business.
I know. And that business, though, because you got so many people who are enabling you. You know, I hate to say it. Prince, Michael
100.
Jackson. And if you didn't do what he said, the yes man, you're out. And they're going to get somebody else back in there who can, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I need to feel some kind of way, and that's why I got you on the payroll
That's
to
right.
make me feel some kind of way. Is that right?
Trying to fix the feeling with a feeling,
Yeah.
a substance.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So now you're living your life. You got your beautiful daughter. You know what I mean? You're in the gym. Things are good for you now.
20 years out of my business.
Yeah. You do furs, right?
Well, my husband's
Yeah.
for your business, but
Right.
I'm 20 years of Stop and Shop. Like, I was able to keep a job. Before, I was unemployable. I would lose my jobs. I would be so high, I couldn't make it to work.
Man.
Crazy. Good jobs.
What would you say to somebody who can't stop doing what they do?
There's a way. There's 12-step programs.
Right
There's
there.
12-step programs. Reach out. Find a meeting. Go to one. Ask for help. Raise your hand. Share.
What are some of the places, we're not trying to promote anything, but you can mention some of the places they can go in Providence or in Warwick, some of the places they can go to seek help.
Well, just look for recovery. There's national hotlines. You can
Yeah,
call anybody for
right.
addiction, and then they'll
Well done, well done.
yeah, they'll send you to
Well done.
a 12-step program of your choice.
I like that.
They're
I
out
like
there,
that.
they're free, they're attainable.
And you can
they
probably
work.
tell them if Rhonda can do it, then anybody can do it, right? Because
You got
Rhonda
that
ain't no
right.
better than nobody else.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if I got an addiction, but I mean, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and we need to get a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Having said that, but I mean, your story is very.
I still love you.
Yeah. Patriot fan,
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Wow.
I was a Tom Brady fan,
What
though.
we have here is hey, you like Dan Marino? Yeah, Dan Marino owns Miami, doesn't he? Just about. I
Yeah.
know. You guys, I like your quarterback Tua.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
lived in Hawaii for 15 years, so
Yeah.
he's the local kind brother like that.
Yeah, we're doing good right now.
He is.
Yeah, we are.
And you know what? He's a low-key guy, and he's not conceited.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he
our
wants to learn.
defense.
Comes from a real good Samoan family.
Yes.
They're God-fearing people
Yes.
as well. You know,
Yeah.
'tis the season to be jolly.
Yeah.
And like that. So Rhonda, tell some more good stories of people who have been in the 12-step program, who've made it, who they didn't think they could make it, but some kind of way, you know, by the faith of God, you know.
Oh, there's just so many. We're all over the world.
Oh, are you all over the world?
Yeah,
Well,
12-step programs all over the world.
Right. Who came up with that?
Jimmy, a guy named Jimmy.
Okay. We'll
Jimmy
keep
K.
his last name. Yeah, no, he has helped a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible, because I've heard the 12-step program for so long. And then living out in Miami, I'm sure you had so many things coming at you.
Oh, I was an actress, so I was in the business, so it was just
What was that like?
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Best time of my life. I mean, it was all
Right.
good until it wasn't.
until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to say no. I knew at a certain point, I would watch my best friend go to bed at 2 o'clock, and she would stop using. This would be 2 a.m., and then I would be in the car out looking for more. There's the problem.
Yeah, that is the big problem.
So I ruined everything good that came to me until I surrendered for good.
And now you got the ultimate that's good for you.
The ultimate
That
life.
ain't
Married-
going nowhere.
Married now, 23 years I'm with my husband. Like I might only have 10 years, but I've been in and out of the program since I moved here a lot, more than 10 years. Probably, if you add it all up, probably 15 years. So I've been clean a lot.
And he must be a special type individual to have patience as well.
Oh, thank God, we're the yin and the yang. We balance each other.
Right,
Yeah, he's way mellow.
right. That's a beautiful thing.
It is a good thing.
That is a good, and normally that's the way it is, isn't it? Though?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Or you'd have two crazy people.
That is so funny. Yeah, addiction is a serious thing, and you don't wish it on nobody, but a lot of people are going through it. There are people who like during Christmas time, like now, shopping addiction.
Yeah, but let's talk about that. There's opiates out there right now. So we didn't have that when I was using back in the day. And
Fentanyl and all these
yeah, it's in
different things.
everything.
lace.
You've got to be careful. It's in. I'll tell you this: my sponsee works for a company, and a big company, and just bought a pill from a coworker and overdosed in front of her kids about 2 months ago.
Oh, is this the
pill.
story you told me? And then the
just
Narcan?
3 times.
Yeah, so the
So
Narcan.
fentanyl's in everything.
Yeah, what is the big fascination with fentanyl?
Well, it's a cheap way to put it in drugs to get people high. But they're just mad chemists, so they don't know what they're putting in there, how much. And if there's too much, you die. And so people are dying. We have a person that has about 200 cards prayer cards from people in the program that have died. People are dying left and right. It is serious, and there is help, and you don't have to live like that. I am so grateful that I'm not out there buying drugs, because it's in everything. Fentanyl. Game changer.
And so you got that. So then people OD. There's Narcan.
Narcan is what the police officers, EMTs have on you, and they give it to you.
That if you, correct me if I'm wrong, if you overdose, do they what? Give it to you? You drink it? What do you do?
Nostril.
Okay,
or
in your
shot,
nostril?
I think.
And it actually brings you back to life.
Not everybody.
Yeah, some people back to life.
Yes.
Right, so that's a godsend.
Some people in the rooms are telling stories they've been Narcan multiple times, and they still choose to relapse. The addiction is a disease. It's something that they can't help, but they can arrest. You can't change it, but you can arrest it through the 12 steps.
What do you mean when you say arrest it?
Put it down. Put it to sleep. Arrest it. It's always there. That's what we talk about.
Remember Congress was a big stink about the Narcan and saying it was a moneymaker and in the hands of the wrong people, that it was not going to the right people to distribute whatever.
No, it's going to the right people. It's saving lives.
And so you are an advocate for Narcan?
Absolutely. Yes.
That's very deep. You're watching PEG RITV. We hope that you're enjoying. We're getting deep. And this is gut-wrenching, some of the stories that this woman has told me off camera. But you know what? Her heart's into it, and she's the real deal. And you all should listen to what she says, the 12-step program. Even the cool David Lee Roth story, man, you can actually interject some humor with it. But at the end of the day, this is serious. We got about another 3.5 more minutes. I told you that I'd give you another 1.5 minutes. I want you to look in that camera right there and all of the people on the sound of your voice and give them some parting shots on where your heart's at these days.
Yeah, I thank God that I was aware of the program and that my family was clean and that I had a choice and a chance to change my life. There's a program out there for you. If you don't like a meeting that you go to, find another meeting. Ask someone for help. Make sure you do 90 meetings in 90 days. You try to get a sponsor. You try to work the steps. You get a higher power of your understanding. It doesn't have to be God. It could be good orderly direction. You know, it's just life-changing. Just the lie is dead is all I can say. And you don't have to live like this, you know? There's people with all kinds of stories. There's people that my mom became a lawyer. There's people that their dreams come true when they get clean. My brother, you know, he's living his best life. I'm living my best life. I watched my sponsee get a career, you know, another one. My daughter, who didn't have to participate in drugs and alcohol on the soccer team and just living her best life. It's just a beautiful thing, you know, and it's out there and you can find it.
That is excellent. That is well said. Addiction does not have to addict you, because there is a greater way and there's a greater power who has control over everything. And I totally agree. Look at the time. It's been fun, but we've got to run. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching PEG RITV. We hope that some of the things that we divulge here today, that you can pick through it and it can change somebody's life. Take care. God bless. We out. Bam.
Bling, 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 bling. He's a Rastaman do his thing. You see, he got bling, 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 bling. Hey, Lanny man. Some people have a diamond ring, driving around with spinning rims.